so I'm really bad about recording and talking about what's going on. So I figured I'd talk while I worked. Probably the best scenario for all parties involved. Let me turn this down just a little bit. Yes, this is my elaborate setup. I have a tablet hooked to a stereo, playing music. It's usually playing podcasts. I'm usually learning from other comic artists and other artists, like figuring out the business, whatever. This is my fan, my trusty fan that I've had for a decade now. Everybody else has been talking about how warm it is. Here in Iowa, it is hitting 95, almost 100. But here in my room, it is a cool 65 degrees always. I was built for the cold. I enjoy the cold. Fall's almost my favorite season. Winter definitely is, though. I was built for it. I enjoy it. You'll see artists that kind of inspire me. These rotate from time to time. Right over here, there's a big collection of Kevin Cross's original art from his Patreon. I support him on Patreon. I suggest you do the same. He's picking up some speed with Monkey Mod. His pages are looking top notch. I'm so excited to see more work from him that he is inspiring more and more with the pages he's doing, with what he's showing, the little tips and tricks. Still, I'm learning from him. Let's break it down for a second. Kevin Cross is one of the creators that I look up to right now. Because honestly, without finding his videos, I probably wouldn't be shooting this video right now or making this comic book I'm working on. So thank you, Kevin. In his project, 100 Days of Making Comics. He's done 3 runs of them right now. Considering doing a 4th right now. So if he does, you're definitely going to hear about it on this channel. What else? Ink Skin. If you follow me on social media, you'll see me pimping her art. It's truly incredible. She has these great Calvin and Hobbes, like, realistic pieces. She also does this outworldly, ethereal, like, looking stuff. It's top notch. And then I have some Able art. One of probably my favorite artists right now. He does great pinup work. But his book he released last year, Nightmares and Visions, the guidebook that he sells with it, actually is very inspiring, and I want to show what is going through my process, not only in this video, but I put sections in the back of my comics kind of showing how this story is evolving. Up here I have notes on the dry erase board. You also see a smaller dry erase board that I can take off the wall, write notes on it, cover some stuff. This is the start of coloring issue 6. I would love to be on issue 7 right now. Coloring's kind of gotten bogged down. I will show you right now. So this is the original page I did for the 5th issue. These are the preview pages, so everything's not as tight as it could be. Trying some different colors out and whatnot, but mainly I was trying these new narration boxes. If you check out my comic, you see the narration in the first couple issues is just like written crudely off to the side, whatnot. This is the first issue that is really getting tighter. This is the preview page, and this is the first page actually done. You see the colors filled in much more. These, here, I'll move that a little closer. These narration boxes are much more focused and coloring. You can kind of see. I'm going for a darker hue on the comics. It's supposed to be late afternoon right now, so I think everything would be a darker hue for the most part. So that's page 1. Page 1 is out of the way. Page 2, however, is taking some serious work. I've started flatting a few of them. This is the preview page. This is what I've gotten done so far. You can see I just filled in that panel fully. That panel is done, but I've started flatting everything else, and that's where I am on issue 6. Honestly, this is the setup I go for. This is my bed. I lay everything out. I can get a good look at it. I can lay it against the wall, see where everything is, how it's lining up, how to work with it. And I'm really digging the aesthetic that I'm shooting for with issue 6. There are a few things that I wanted to mention, so while I'm working on this, I will keep you plugged in, and I will also talk about those things that I wanted to hit on. So down here, I have a massive amount of Copic markers. Copic markers are primarily what I color with. I'm a traditional artist, so just makes most sense. You can see this yellow bus takes a good portion of this page. It is also grass behind these panels. I did this kind of sketch style with the preview pages. I think I'm going to keep that sketch look. I want to keep the sketch look, but I definitely want to make it so it's the panels are separated and you can clearly tell where they stop and the background rests. I have been thinking about doing a lighter outline around the panels to give it that look. Since I'm a traditional artist, I don't have the luxury of putting it in the computer and lightening and messing with it. So if I mess something up on this page, I have to print it out and start over. So it is nerve-wracking for the most part doing it this way, because I really can't, I have to be very sure that I want something to look the way that it does. So I'm going to go back to working on this, and I will tell you about a few things that I mentioned, but I didn't, or I put them in the notes of the last video, the laser focus video, but I didn't necessarily say anything about them, but I really definitely wanted to talk about them. So while I'm working on this, also something I have to do, I've used these Copics for 5 issues now, and you can see the really light colors have this almost darkened tip, and to make sure that I'm not starting with a blackened color, I usually have to do a few strokes on a different page just to make sure everything's copacetic. What I'm doing here is starting with this lightest color, the furthest away from the perspective. You would think that would be counterintuitive. You would think it would get darker as it got further away. But one of the big things I've picked up over doing these issues, in real life, if you look at something tomorrow, just watch it go into the vanishing point or move into the distance, and you can see how lightened it gets. Now if I were doing digital art, I could easily just change hues and whatnot after slapping some colors in, but since I'm traditionalist, I kind of just have to wing it and cover more with this lightest color than I typically would. If you look at the book, if you look at the preview page, you can see that I kind of stop right about here. I will probably take it to about here, because once I get so light, I can't get any lighter than that. So it's much better to have overlapping lighter colors than it is to have an overwhelming sense of heavier colors. So on to those things I was going to tell you about. The first thing is Gaz's updates have started up again. The links I put in the last video were for Gazbot's Hardcore Week. Insert awesome guitar riff right here. His Hardcore Week just got me excited, not only for his videos, but to start filming mine again. I've kind of been going on hiatuses without saying anything, and I don't like it for one thing, but I am further behind on this year than I would like to be, so not editing these videos and like trying to get them out as quick as possible when I do is benefiting me, to helping me work quicker on these issues. It has been 2 months since issue 5 came out, or actually only 1 month, but I've only put the 1 issue out this year. That's much further back than I want to be. Granted, I did do a trade and did kickstart the whole thing, and that definitely took a few months, but I am definitely just busting my ass right now trying to get caught up to where I want to be. And I think I hold myself probably to too high of standards, but at the same time, nobody's gonna hold me to any higher standards than I'm allowing myself to hold me to, so kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, serious. Getting back to Gaz's updates. So he did this Hardcore Week to get in this mood for starting issue 2 of his comic series, Horror A4, which I literally have right here. This is unplanned. It literally is just sitting in my stack of comics. I'll throw a link down below. You can pick that up. It's on his Etsy store. It's phenomenal. I will be doing a review of it later on once I get a few more comic review videos built up. And so people have kind of, to give myself a sense of credibility before reviewing like more indie spotlight type comics, because I'd love to review it right now. I just don't think many people will watch it just because I don't have a lot of subscribers and people just don't know what my tastes are. I think if I hit a few more indie spotlight, like Image released comics, to give myself some kind of credibility in the comic world, and so people know kind of what I'm into, can get kind of a sense of what I like, so they can see how that translates to what they might like. Once I do that, I will be able to hit people with these comic reviews for my friends' comics. And don't get me wrong, I probably am a little biased towards Gaz's project just because he's brethren. He's done this 100 days alongside me. I think I caught like the tail end of his first 100 days, and went ahead and did 2 runs back to back for myself. With that being said, he has started his 2nd run of 100 days now, and I am hyped. Not even a little bit hyped, I am very hyped. He seems that he's so excited to start issue 4. He's basically starting on thumbnails right now. And the thumbnails themselves are already getting me excited for issue 2. I think if you jump in on his 100 days right now, you'll be pleasantly surprised, because you'll not only see where this comic, or how this comic comes together and how he builds it up, but you'll get a sense of who he is and how that relates to this comic that you'll soon be reading, because honestly, I love this comic. I'm excited to see more monsters. I believe day 4 yesterday, he was talking about doing this action scene with these kaiju monsters and like trying to figure out how to get some action scenes, to have that feeling and that heaviness of a fight, especially when you're talking about kaiju monsters and these big Godzilla looking sons of guns, that they need that weight and gravity to the situation. So I'm just excited to get more from him. He's got a real fire lit under him after doing his first Kickstarter, getting his first issue done. He even talked about a few projects that he worked on other than his own Horror A4, and how he turned them away because he's definitely excited to get jamming on his second issue. So check him out. I will put a link to his channel, his Etsy store where you can pick up the Horror A4 as well. Definitely check him out. Give him throw him a hey, what's up on Twitter as well. That's where I usually hang out. I don't think that's probably where he is the most online at. He probably hangs out on Facebook or Instagram a little bit more, but check out some of his videos, find out where he is, go say hello to him. He is a wonderful dude. Along with all the 100 guys, I have not met a one that I don't like. There are a bunch of hundreds dudes right now, and dudettes, doing their own projects, doing their own things, and it only gets me excited to read more and more of these. With that being said, somebody else started their second 100 run, and that's Jan. He's doing it back to back like I did my runs, and his are looking fantastic. I'll throw a link to his channel as well. I've mentioned him in previous videos. Just a really cool dude, great guy. With his 100 days, he finished his first 10-day kind of an issue 0 for his own comic series. And now he's doing his second 100 run already. He said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm doing my comic, and I'm doing it now. So, I'm loving all the work he's doing. He threw his comic out to friends. It's available on Gumroad. I will link not only his Gumroad, but his YouTube channel down below. Go check out his comic on Gumroad. For sure, download that. Throw a couple bucks his way too. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Man, I'm telling you, these 100 days people, they're great people. So go add them. I will throw you a couple more videos that I linked down in the last one. One is Casey Neistat's Key to Success. And that's what I was talking about with the last video, is this focusing on one project, one main idea at a time. Because once you focus on one thing, you're able to go a lot faster, because you're in this mindset of doing this one thing over and over and over, and you're focusing on that one thing to the point where you're able to get excited about it, stay excited about it, and just hammer on that. You're only going to drive a nail in so far if you're worried about doing other projects rather than building whatever it is you have in front of you. And with this focus and attention to detail, you can drive that nail in as far as you can get it, because that's your one main objective just right now. One other great video that I've seen recently is Will Terry's second video from his Denver Comic-Con. He did a bunch, and I mean a bunch, of prints. He did his own little book earlier this year, but he started making them, I don't know if it was earlier this year or last year. I want to say it was last year. But he made up like 1,000 prints of each picture. Just went all out. He was going to do the con circuit, and he was going to do it the best and most efficient way he could possibly do it. So he went ahead, bought all these prints, got stations set up, got this efficient drive for this con setup. And that first time he went out, I want to say he just fell right on his face. It's probably not that bad. I think he probably came close to a goal where he was set, but it was still under budget of where he wanted to be. With that being said, he's gotten better and better, and especially with his set evolving. His table setup is one of the best I've seen at a con right now, just because the branding is definitely all the same. He's selling one thing, different sizes, options, but they're all good quality, but the best way he can, because since he got so many of each print, he's able to maximize the sale of each print too. He also has a great friend of his that comes along with him and kind of upsells to people for him as well. So I'll throw the link for his second video to Denver Comic Con. He shows how to build this sweet Lazy Susan style of rotating print. I want to say print, what do they call those things where you put things on them? Not cabinet, but oh my god, my mind is blanking. Like a wireframe spinner. We're gonna say spinner because I can't think of the word. But he built it out of like board and a Lazy Susan. I think the whole thing cost him maybe $20 to build, from materials from like Lowe's or Home Depot or Menards, whatever, one of those home improvement stores. But it is phenomenal. I think it would work great if you put wire racks with it that you could sell comics on. It gives this nostalgic feel of one of the old spinners that you would see in like a grocery store when I was growing up. That was how I would get comics. Gives us great feel. So if you definitely give that video a check. He kind of starts off at the con when he goes in, loads in, builds everything, a couple shots from the show, them tearing down, so he shows off the Lazy Susan, and then driving back and talking about the show. It's a great video if you're gonna think about doing cons, if you want to get into comic making, if you want to do conventions for artistry. Check this video out because it's phenomenal. I think that's gonna do this for this video. I've got the bus almost colored. I'm probably gonna go a little heavier on it, but by the next time you're watching these videos, I'll probably be a few more pages ahead, and I will catch you then. Later.